Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This time, instead of the depression that is the Detroit Red Wings, we get to talk about a team that actually showed some promise today in the Detroit Tigers. I know I haven't done a lot of Detroit content, a lot of Detroit Tigers content, so a lot of people viewing this are probably new. Hello, please subscribe if you like this. But yeah, let's get into it. I do these videos in kind of segments where I talk about the different parts in different segments. You'll see. Let's go on to the first segment. So the pitching. The pitching was solid. Boyd, despite having let's just call it a not so good year last year, actually had a solid pitching performance today. Maybe not as good as some people would have wanted. Well, actually, I take that back. He probably exceeded expectations. I know he exceeded my expectations for this game. I didn't think he was going to do as well as he did, but he did do well. He didn't get as many strikeouts, but he got pitches that were hit, but they weren't hit, as home runs, and most of them were fielded and they turned out to be outs. I don't care if however we get outs is however we get outs. I don't care if it's a strike, if you're fielding it, if you're catching it, if it's a catch of a ball that's gone foul. I don't care. I just want us to get outs so that we can win games. And in a game where it was very low scoring and every out mattered and every play mattered in the end, it's very valuable. And he was solid for a lot of innings, and I enjoyed his pitching. Our closing, Norris, he did a solid job. Gregory Soto is my favorite young pitcher on this roster. I know some people are going to say, what about Casey Mize and Matt Manning and that, but to me, Greg Soto is my favorite. He throws hard. He has the potential to have some deadly curves and sliders, especially with his off speed, because with how fast he can pitch. If you go from throwing 10 straight pitches that are 98 miles an hour, because he throws upper 90s, 96, 97, 98. I don't think I saw any of his fastballs today dip below 95 miles per hour. But if you throw like those type of pitches for 10 pitches straight, and then you start throwing some off-speed stuff, that is going to catch a lot of batters off guard, and you're going to catch them swinging early. And if he can do that, he will become an amazing closer that can help us a lot. That's why he's my favorite. But today was risky. Today was really risky. He didn't have the control that I would like to see him have. If he can get his pitches under control, and he can have a lot more control, that 98 mile an hour fastball, that 99, I saw him touch 99 a few pitches, is going to be a lot more deadly if he can put it in the edges of the strike zone, or maybe he can catch a batter just trying to lean in and stretch out and he misses it. Or he aims too high or he aims too low. If he can just catch people slipping, especially with how fast he throws, as long as he can get control, he's going to be deadly down the line. But today, he kind of almost blew it for us with that home run. And just with walking, he threw some pitches that were probably not where he wanted them to go, and that was risky. But I'm not saying that it being that close to the end is entirely his fault, but part of it is. But he still put out a pretty good performance. He closed it out. He got the save. He didn't let that home run get in his head. Because there's some guys, if they let that home run go and they're only up by one, they let it get in. They let it get in their head and they psych themselves out. He didn't do that. He stayed good. He pitched well to finish it out and won the game. So I think he needs to be given props on that. He should be criticized for giving up that home run, but he also needs to be given props on not letting that get in his head and letting him let more runs in. He stayed under control, he stayed calm, and we won the game. On to the next segment. The defense. The defense is what won us this game, along with the pitching. Wilson Ramos, he did some things that aren't going to show up on the box score, like getting in the way of some of the wild pitches. There weren't a ton of wild pitches, but he got in the way of most of the wild pitches, or he did everything in his power to get in the way. That way they didn't hit the backstop, or they didn't go wildly, one direction. That way he could keep it under control, and the base runners didn't steal a ton of bases off of wild pitches. And that is something that is valuable, especially when we have guys like Gregory Soto who are younger and they don't have as much control and they could mess up and stuff like that. That's going to be valuable, being able to get in the way. So he's very, from what I saw today, he did a good job of that. He's also good. He's just a good catcher. He can field, from what I saw today. Now, I know, last season we started out strong, and then we just, at kind of the midway mark, kind of just fell to crap. We started strong in the season. We were in the playoffs, and then we dipped and finished last in the division. As long as we can prevent that from happening and not fall apart in the end of games and the end of the season, we won't finish last in the division. The guy's jersey that I'm wearing right now, Nico Goodrum, was not in the lineup. But we shouldn't expect to see, because he was a finalist for the Gold Glove. He's a very good fielder. But he is not going to get an everyday spot until his bat improves tremendously. He batted below 200. I think he batted 189 last year. He did not bat very well. He's my favorite player. Him and Gregory Soto and Miguel Cabrera, my favorite players. What Tigers fan doesn't like Miggy? But if Nico Goodrum does not improve his bat, he will not be in the lineup every single day. But Jacoby Jones, out in the outfield, he has some wheels. He has some amazing wheels. He ran down some balls. It was just amazing. Also, another thing about Nico Goodrum, he does have versatility. He can play the outfield, he can play the infield. Really, the only positions he can't play are third base, he's not very good at, and pitcher and catcher. Everywhere else he can play. But on to other players. Miggy, I know every year we get the same, line of, oh, Miggy's gotten in shape, he's slimmer, he's faster, he's going to be like 2011, 2012 all over again. And it doesn't really happen. He actually has gotten a lot more in shape this year. He's not a liability on the defensive end anymore. I think he's going to be a solid first baseman. Will he be at first base for all of the games? No. But will he be there for a good portion of them? If he stays healthy, yes. So he might have to DH every once in a while. But that's better than last year where he was DH basically the whole year. So as long as he doesn't get injured, he's good. Shoop, he's a good fielder. I hope in the next few games we can see Akil Baddoo out there, because he's a freaking beast, and I want to see him play in a regular season game. But our defense, just like, even when we have bad teams, our defense is still solid. We still have good defense. It's just our offense struggles. But that goes into our next segment, where we actually aren't that bad this year. Okay, offense. We have some solid bats. Miggy, he looks like he's going to have a solid bat. Is he going to be the most efficient batter? Is he going to get hits? Not so much. Is he going to hit home runs, though? Yes. And we need at least a few home run hitters. But we also have just some good bats. Again, Akil Baddoo. he needs to get in the lineup. I want to see him hit against major league pitchers in the regular season, not spring training. I want to see what he can do in a regular season game, and I think he could be a very good bat in our lineup. Mazzara, Nomar Mazzara didn't do the best, but Robbie Grossman actually surprised me. I knew he was a decent hitter, but I thought he was just like a decent power hitter. But he can apparently steal some bases. He's got some wheels. So I'm excited to see him, how he plays for the rest of the season. But he seems like a solid bat in the lineup. Who am I thinking of? Is it Victor Reyes? Am I thinking of? Oh, crap. Never mind. But we do have some solid bats in the lineup this year. It's not as bad as last year. We are definitely going to improve over last year. We actually have a good team this year. As long as we don't fall apart, I think we're going to start seeing the results of this rebuild finally take shape. And maybe we'll make the playoffs. I mean, we've got more playoff spots than in years past. So I think we can make the playoffs if we play right. And part of playing right is the manager. Now, the manager, A.J. Hinch. I know some people don't like him. What happened with the Astros? But I feel like this is the best place for him to get his second chance. We were terrible last year. We finished last in the division. But when he went to the Astros, when he was first there, the Astros were bad. They were not a good baseball team. But he developed players. He managed good. And they won a World Series. Yes, they stole signs. But there's, like, sign stealing can only get you to a certain point. Maybe it wins them a couple extra games. But that World Series run was not a total fluke. That wasn't just sign stealing that got them there. He's a good manager. He pulled Boyd at the right time. He was approaching 100 pitches, and he was losing a bit of his control, and he pulled him at the right time. And he put the right relievers out there to help us win that game. He's a good manager. Harley, shut up. Fine. He's a good manager, and I think he's definitely going to help us get to the playoffs. 1 second. Okay, he's not going to stop, so I'm just going to go on to the next segment. I think he did a good job managing today.
Like the way that I dance, she like the way that I move, she like the way that I rock, she like the way that I walk.
In summary, we did good today. We did better than I expected. I know the Indians weren't the best last year either, but I thought we were going to lose this one. Not by a ton, but I thought it was going to be like 5-4 or 5-3 or something like that, with them being the 5. But no, we actually won. And that's good. I want us to start winning, because it's time that we stop tanking, and we've been in a rebuild for a while now, and we should start seeing the results of that. And we are. And we've signed good players. We've done good in free agency. So yeah. But yeah, we're actually probably going to be a solid team this year. I think everyone should be excited to see how this year plays out. Because really, it can go either way. It can go, we make the playoffs, and we probably get eliminated in the first round. But we still make the playoffs, and we actually, have an entertaining baseball team. And it's not torture to watch them. Kind of like the Red Wings right now. But it could also go, we suck completely and totally, this game was a fluke, and we get another top 5 pick. Either way is good for the team. So I think we just need to let this year play out. See how it goes. I think this is the year where we judge whether we start making pushes for the playoffs or we still tank and try and get top picks. If we do good this year, we start making pushes for the playoffs. If not, tank. I think that's how we should play this, but that's just me. I will see you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and I'm excited for the next game.
Love on each other, as in, like, tell each other they love.